My boyfriend is upset because I sometimes miss how sweet he used to be in the beginning. First timer here. Please be kind with the mistakes. Me, 25F, and my boyfriend, 26M, have been in relationship for almost 2 years. We both live in the same city but we do not live together. He is naturally a little bit loud talker, but when we used to talk in the beginning before getting into relationship, he used to talk gently and sweet with me. Now it's not the same, which I totally get because we are both more comfortable with each other, but he teases and jokes about me a lot, which is not fun all the time, and dominates while joking, like talks in loud tone but still laughing and joking about it. So I've just started to be quiet and not react to his jokes at all. Cut to today, we were talking on phone casually and he was making a joke on me again, and I said that sometimes I miss how he used to talk to me in the beginning. He asked me what I meant by that, and I told him how he used to be gentle, calm and sweet while talking to me before, and now it's not like that, which I miss sometimes. He got upset about it, saying sometimes no matter how much we do, people will always find faults, and took offense that he isn't sweet, for which I calmly explained that I'm not saying that he's not sweet and I'm only talking about the tone and the way he talks to me. He was still offensive, kinda upset, saying it's okay. Everyone has their expectations. We both got bit quiet for few secs, and then I said I absolutely do not mean anything about him being sweet, and asked to let me explain him what I mean and why I said that. He said that he's not interested and he does not want to listen about it. I didn't want to make the conversation worse, so I said that I'll talk to him later. I know he won't talk to me until I make a move to talk to him and say sorry. This is not something new, and I'm kinda tired of making the first move and saying sorry all the time, even though it's not my fault. I love him and still want to talk about it calmly, so I was thinking of explaining to him via MSG and let him decide the next step. Is there anything else I could do to make him actually listen to what I have to say? TLDR, I told my boyfriend that I sometimes miss how sweet he used to talk to me in the beginning, and he got upset about it, saying that no matter how much he does for me, it's not enough for me. I'd take one more run at it, but a bit more stern on your part. Look, we're getting older and the relationship is maturing. We have to be able to talk about these things like adults. You've teased me consistently since we started and I just took it and got quiet about it. Maybe I shouldn't have, but you have to be able to listen when I need to share my feelings. And I hope to do the same for you. No need to live this entire relationship like we're still 22/25. I know he won't talk to me until I make a move to talk to him and say sorry. This is not something new, and I'm kinda tired of making the first move and saying sorry all the time, even though it's not my fault. I've been there. This is not a healthy way to deal with conflict. Apologizing will not actually resolve the issue. Your boyfriend needs to mature and step up, especially when all he's done is dismiss your very valid concerns. Good luck. Please remember to do what is right for you. It's over. You deserve better. He's treating you like one of the guys and then bullying and manipulating you when you protest. Just dump him. Way too much effort to try to change him. He's not worth it. He had a mask on and this is the real him. This is obviously not what you signed for. If you don't like it, get up and go. Never stay in a miserable relationship. Me and my BF's first huge fight was over us being too mean to each other while we were joking around. We still joke around with each other now, but if one of us crosses a line, we apologize, stop, and talk about something else. Your boyfriend is unwilling to do this, it seems. Some people will naturally tease, bully the shy, quiet, nice person as a default. This is very common and you have probably experienced this from others before. If boyfriend exhibits the same behavior, you might need to fight back and put your foot down. Otherwise, reevaluate your long-term compatibility. If he is making jokes at your expense, and doesn't stop when you tell him it hurts you, that's abusive. There are seriously harsh comments on here, and honestly this post is way too vague to justify a lot of what is being said. Lots of comments seem to be assuming this is something it's not. Maybe he misses that about himself, too. Without more detail on what kind of jokes we're talking about, it's hard to say. People loosen up around each other once they get comfortable. It's a natural part of any relationship. Get some specifics together and approach him again if it's bothering you. The love bombing phase is over and now you see the actual guy. Sounds like he lacks accountability and doesn't know how to take constructive criticism. It would be one thing if you were coming at him in an offensive manner, but if you're gently expressing your feelings as an adult, a good partner will listen and communicate. The fact that it's a constant thing of you apologizing otherwise you don't speak is not good. You're doing all the emotional labor. That isn't fair to you. You can't communicate when only one person is initiating and apologizing. You shouldn't have to apologize for voicing your feelings. That's manipulative. I'd say have another talk with him, but I'd seriously question the relationship. A relationship won't go far without proper communication and accountability on both sides. Is there anything else I could do to make him actually listen to what I have to say? You can't make someone listen to you or care about what you are saying. That's not possible. But you should seriously consider why he doesn't care about what you are feeling, and expects you to apologize for expressing those feelings in a kind way. What kind of future do you have with someone where you are just expected to accept everything and not have your feelings considered? Read, Why Does He Do That? Inside the Minds of Angry and Controlling Men. This book saved my life. You will recognize how his behavior is affecting you. Leave him and get someone who doesn't make jokes at your expense. Dating is an interview for a life partner. He's reached the point he is failing that interview. Break up and move on. He's not going to make a good life partner for you. He is telling you that your feelings don't matter. You know that they do. You've already experienced the best of this relationship. We can all fall in love with someone who isn't actually good for us long term. Almost all of us do. You need to move on even if you do love him, because you won't have a happy life with him and you deserve happiness. You don't have to make a decision immediately, but if and when you feel that it is over, it is okay to say it is over. Don't move in together. That makes breaking up harder to do and should be reserved for a relationship that is doing much better than this one. Sounds like he groomed you. You need an exit plan now. Before the abuse starts. My boyfriend is the same. It's really hard for me to feel loved and supported in our relationship because he only ever makes fun of me sad face. Then he gets offended when I tell him I don't feel like he loves me. Look up verbal abuse on Google. Op. You're seriously downplaying how he treats you. Instead of saying, you used to be sweeter in the beginning, that sounds like an attack and saying they changed. You should say I really love when you talk gently to me and ask if he can do it more. Is the joke what hurt your feelings or the loud talking? He's a naturally loud talker and you are seeing it more. That probably who he is normally and he's getting comfortable with you. You should assess that. You guys have a communication problem. Doesn't seem like he can talk like a grown-up. You're asking for the bare minimum and he's crying about how it's too much. Don't settle for that. And I agree with what others have said. He's showing you his true face. He used a mask to catch you, and now that you're committed to him, he felt comfortable taking it off. Maybe I'm misreading, but it can be the case that he feels that he is now comfortable enough to be himself around you. Maybe in his head your remark hit him in the sense that he feels you don't like the real him. Wow, this is his reaction and he wonders why you asked him why he isn't sweet anymore. It's like he proved your point by accident. You have to be able to communicate for a relationship to last. He's not even interested in hearing your reasoning when you obviously did not start the conversation in an adversarial way. He expects an apology because he felt hurt, but that's the logic of a 5-year-old. Do not apologize, and hold your boundary. Tell him you feel hurt when he talks to you that way and you need for him to be more expressive of his feelings and to be more gentle and romantic. Find out what he needs from his girlfriend. If those things are incompatible, stop wasting daylight and break up with him, and find somebody who can give you what you need. Honey, sometimes I miss how skinny you used to be. This is excellent advice. If you love him, help him grow up. I know from experience what happens when not rocking the boat takes top priority. It's not good for anybody. I also need to take this advice. Guys, everyone stop overreacting. Some people just love expressing love by making jokes about them and think it's a way of showing attention to them. Trust me, it is like that. He didn't mean anything bad. But you saying you miss old him is the worst to say to a man. Every man tries to become better himself every day, and by saying that you destroyed him fully. He now thinks he became a worse person, etc., and now is overthinking about everything. You could have just said you do, but like him joking about you and that you don't have a humor and take jokes seriously. Just drop him a MSG and go see him if it's possible, or make a call. You will say sorry, he will say sorry too, and that's it. Nothing complicated. This issue is about much more than sweet talk or tone of voice. That said, I'm absolutely against baby talk between partners. It's immature and always leads to problems. I'm you from 20 years in the future. You always apologizing is red flag. In my experience, things never got better. There were ups and downs along the way, but the trend was down. It turned abusive. We got divorced last year. I spent that whole time trying, and things were great as long as it was me putting on the effort to make things work. Pay attention, don't apologize if he is in the wrong. And don't put up with the silent treatment, that's bullshit. Sure, People may need some time to calm down or gather their thoughts, but beyond that it's abusive. Pay attention to these patterns over time. Don't make the first move and apologize. You didn't do anything wrong. Either he had a bad day or it was a bad time, or he doesn't feel regularly appreciated in the relationship, or he's lost interest in the relationship and keeping it afloat. Please give him some space and let him reach out to you. Focus on yourself. Hey op, don't apologize. Anyways, if he were originally sweet and kind, he would still be. I've been with my boyfriend for a year and a half and legit nothing has changed dramatically like yours. He is still the kind guy the first met in 2020. Your boyfriend sounds immature IDK. When people feel stuck in your situation, I like this thought exercise. If your friend shared this situation with you like you have shared with us in this post, what would you say to them? What advice would you give them? Is that different than what you tell to yourself? If so, why? The moment you start reminiscing about the good old days of your relationship is the moment that it's over. You pine for the honeymoon phase of the relationship. He sounds emotionally abusive, to be honest. I am betting all the little jokes are at your expense. Abusers are on their best behavior at the beginning of the relationship, then mask slips and you start to see the real person. This is who he really is. Please don't waste any more time on him, it's quite damaging to you. I think what you're describing is that you're realizing this relationship doesn't have legs. You are finding out what life is going to be like if you get comfortable and settle in with this person, and it sounds like it sucks, and when you try to address the issue, he actively makes it suck more. So maybe this isn't the person for you. His reaction was designed to manipulate you into dropping what is a legitimate concern of yours, which you brought up in an appropriate fashion. It worked. He got what he wanted. I'd have another come to Jesus's kinda talk saying that this is serious. And his reaction worries you in the sense that he got angry, turned it around on you, and now the onus is on you to make amends for bringing an issue to light. This does not bode well for any sort of serious issue in the future, and he needs to know this sort of thing will absolutely break a relationship. You sharing your feelings resulting in him being angry and making you explain what you mean is gaslighting. You're not doing anything wrong by sharing how you feel during a conversation. If you were truly calm and brought it up peacefully, there's no need for him to react in an angry way, leaving you feeling like you fucked up. He's revealing his true self. Pay attention. Do not let the relationship drag on and on, please. It's just the honeymoon phase, we all miss it. At first I was like, I understand he is offended, and for me I know I can be sensitive when critiqued. But I take a moment to digest it and then come back to discuss when ready, and I let the person know I heard what they said and am reflecting on it. So I understood. Until you offered to explain what you meant and he was disinterested in hearing it. The way he all or nothing the situation, and reduced it as petty expectations shows a lack of self-reflection. This behavior of needing someone else to take the initiative and apologize is unacceptable. He's an adult, adults should know how to communicate. If you do not like his jokes, how is it a joke? It's not funny. And if he wants to make jokes at your expense when you do not like them, You can try again with the advice from others in this thread. And #X200B. But I just wanted to point out that the entire point of dating someone, instead of just marrying them and staying with them for the rest of your life in the first 2 days, is to find these kinds of things out. He's telling you what he's like, you then have to make the decision of this is the kind of person you want to be with long term. Maybe it's time to start easing out of the relationship. He's not going to change. He doesn't think he's doing anything wrong. He doesn't care that it bothers you. Giving someone the silent treatment and intentionally avoiding them until they cave is not a healthy adult relationship strategy. It is manipulative. OMG, I just got into this same argument. We've been together a little over 2 years. He used to say the sweetest things, but now all he does is pick on me and joke around. I just had to realize that's not who he is anymore. And I can either get used to the way he is now or leave and find someone who'll treat me the way I want again. Don't get me wrong, he's not a bad boyfriend by any means. He's just not who he used to be, and I miss that sometimes. The way you end this pattern is by stopping engaging in it. If he refuses to talk through conflict with you, this relationship has no future. I would make that clear to him and yourself. This guy sounds abusive. There are men out there who are sweet to their partner all the time. My husband is a naturally loud guy too. I told him in the beginning that he sounds more aggressive than he intends to. 11 years later, he still noticeably makes his voice softer when he talks to me. He doesn't roast me. He listens to what I say and cares about how I feel. He's a big manly man but he treats me sweetly because I'm his wife and he cares about me. This is how good men act when they love someone. I honestly don't think your boyfriend even likes you. Stop apologizing to this guy. You are allowed to tell someone that their communication style doesn't always feel good. If I understand this post correctly, sometimes his jokes make you feel shitty, but if you tell him to stop or explain how it makes you feel, he's like, oh, you are looking for faults. When you tell him your needs, his response is to diminish how you feel and make it about him having hurt feelings. How can you communicate this to him? Sounds like you've tried and he's shown you who he is. If someone's behavior changes after dating a while, the new behavior is who they really are. The behavior in the beginning was a show. My boyfriend and I have been dating for 2 years, and he is just as sweet and thoughtful today as he was the first month we are dating. Because he wasn't doing it to make me like him, that is actually the kind of person he is to everyone. The response you were hoping for was, OMG fantastic agent, I didn't even realize that and I'm so glad you pointed it out. I really want to be a great partner and I'll work really hard on being a better person with you. What you got was, shut up and deal with it. He's showing you the trajectory that he's headed in. It's the sunk cost fallacy. You remember the good times you had before and he's lowered his effort because you put up with him. If he's not immediately interested in righting his ways, it only gets worse. This one incident may not be relationship ending, but it's definitely heading in that direction if he lets it. He's an asshole, FFS. He's treating you like shit now, see he feels he can. I told my boyfriend that I sometimes miss how sweet he used to talk to me in the beginning. That is when he was trying to impress you. This is who he is. I know he won't talk to me until I make a move to talk to him and say sorry. This is not something new and I'm kinda tired of making the first move and saying sorry all the time even though it's not my fault. This is who he is. I love him and still want to talk about it calmly. This is who he is. You love who you think he is. He teases and jokes about me a lot, which is not fun. Need I repeat myself? He pretended to be someone else to get you interested. He is a big-mouthed, thoughtless, and selfish asshole. That is who he is.